You have to unmute, Megan.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Megan Moore, and on behalf of the Center for Functional Nutrition, I am delighted to welcome you to our Sunday morning coffee house. This is a special coffee house. The next time we gather, it will be in a new form. So Russell, myself, and Brian have a few things that we would like to share with you. And this morning I will begin, and then I'll hand it over to Brian. But I would like to open the coffee house. I have been enjoying a book called Braiding Sweetgrass. It's written by Robin Wall Kimmerer. So it's Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Knowledge, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teaching of Plants. And it's a wonderful book. Robin is a botanist and a member of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. And in the beginning, she talks about a gift-giving economy as compared to a bought and sold economy. Gift-giving economy is an economy that keeps things moving. It's a creative economy. For an example would be, I go into a store, JCPenney, any kind of a store, and I buy a pair of socks. It's purely transactional. It kind of begins and ends there. But I also have received a pair of socks that were hand knitted. And I received that pair of socks a number of years ago. I have valued that gift. Every time I put them on, I think of the woman that knitted them, the needles, her hands. I thanked her for them. And though that gift lives on, it never stops. Whereas that pair of socks that I bought, at JCPenney, I probably threw them, I have kept and valued. So Robin speaks in the beginning about this gift-giving economy, and I'm going to share just a couple of very short passages with you today. The relationship of gratitude and reciprocity thus developed can increase the evolutionary fitness of both plant and animal. A species and a culture that treat the natural world with respect and reciprocity will surely pass on genes to ensuing generations with a higher frequency than the people who destroy it. The stories we choose to shape our behaviors have adaptive consequences. So in this way, we can choose the stories that we live by. One of these stories sustains the living systems on which we depend. One of these stories opens the way to living in gratitude and amazement at the richness and generosity of the world. One of these stories asks us to bestow our own gifts in kind, to celebrate our kinship with the world. We, as a commodity, how poor we grow. When the world is a gift in motion, how wealthy we become. And she ends this chapter with this line. A great longing is upon us to live again in a world made of gifts. I can scent it coming, like the fragrance of ripening strawberries rising in the breeze. So I'm opening with that because I love that, the scent of strawberries rising in the breeze. And I feel that this passage of time with all of you has been an incredible gift. I value each and every one of you, and the things that I've learned, and some of them very profound, have touched me, have moved me, and they live in me. So as that gift of the socks that was given to me earlier, this coffee house that we have created, and I remember the day that we created it, a long, long time ago, a year and a half ago, I remember sitting at the dining room table and saying, gosh, let's do it. Let's have this. When should we have it? What will the name be, et cetera, et cetera. We didn't know how it would evolve, what it would become, but it has become something that has been important in our lives. So as I have received these gifts will be returned in the sense that I have gathered all of you into my life in a way. And so it's been a wonderful experience, and I would like to thank each and every one of you, those of you that have presented and those of you who have listened, because I feel that everybody has participated in whatever way they've joined in. And we can keep the gifts that we have received in motion. So I think that is what I would like to say. And Brian, I'll hand the coffee house over to you.
Thank you, Megan. Beautiful words to start our coffee house. And I just wanted to start by saying this has been a really special community that I've been a part of. And I really feel that it was something that was born out of purity and need and no expectation whatsoever. And to see week after week people show up and connect has been really extraordinary, and has certainly given me the confidence that things like this are possible and needed, and we should all work together to do more things like this, and we will, and we are doing those things. So I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank all of you here live, anybody that's watching this afterwards. This only happened because of you. We wouldn't have shown up and just had a conversation with the 3 or 4 of us. So thank you so very much. And I really want to acknowledge everybody. So I'm going to do that. So prepare yourself. I'm going to start with Catherine Taylor, my dear friend, mentor, and guide, who really was at the inception of the coffee house. And the coffee house would not have been what it is without her. And I want to acknowledge you, Catherine. Thank you so much. I want to acknowledge Laura Ocampo, who partnered with Catherine on 2 extraordinary coffee houses. She's an incredible yoga master, and she has a lot of gifts. And I want to acknowledge Laura Ocampo. I want to acknowledge Margie Flint. This is way back at the beginning of our coffee house. She's a master herbalist and also just an incredible joy to be around. She's got quite a wit. She's very funny. Warren Kramer did a great presentation on macrobiotic living and cooking. And he has been in our circle for many, many, many years. Virginia Harper, another one, an incredible master nutritionist and whole body living coach, I believe out of Nashville, Tennessee. Michelle Licata was an organic cook out of Minneapolis, and she was a lot of fun. She did a whole cooking session with us last summer. Danny Shanahan and Carla B are my godparents, and they came on the coffee house many times and sang and read poetry. I believe Danny did some qigong and some breathing once or twice. Martine Goldberg, a dear member of our friendship group, led us in yoga and also participated many times in the coffee house. Annie Tuzman is a writer and an editor and gave a really brilliant presentation. Carl Wergen has been on the coffee house multiple times, and I can see smiles out there because a lot of you have worked with him, and he's just absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Carl. Wes Hamilton, who I see out there, is absolutely extraordinary. Just absolute masterclass and a dear friend and guide. And if anyone hasn't connected with Wes, please connect with him. He is truly, truly amazing. Timothy Cope was one of our first presenters, and he's a master shaman and is really a leader in that field. Teaches classes and courses, and has really dedicated 40 or 50 years of his life to that craft and to teaching it and embodying it. Thank you, Timothy Cope. We had Dee Matchett out of Knoxville. She owns a Osteo Strong franchise in Knoxville, Tennessee, and she does brilliant work. Don Snyder is also an Akashic Records and a number of different modalities, and just a brilliant man and a great person to talk to. Cornelia Elsesser, who is the owner of Holistic Gateway, has blessed us a number of times, and she's also a dear friend and has multiple modalities, as well as a center where she hosts other practitioners. Carolyn Jones and Janet Katovitz out of Knoxville. They have an incredible center there with many practitioners, and they themselves are absolutely extraordinary in their gifts. Thank you so much, Jana and Carolyn. We've had Echo Bodine, who is an extraordinary woman who has been practicing professionally in the arts of ghosts and things of that nature for like 50 years. And she's been in movies and on TV and radio, and she's just absolutely a personality that you have to witness, and a beautiful soul. We had Madeline Charney, who came on and talked about sustainable living, gave a really exceptional presentation that I hope lives on and on and on. We had Terry Beck, who did Qigong and just was such a light and a joy. And I know that he's really working hard on getting a virtual practice that we can all tap into, that he's hoping will actually happen in the fall. We had Deb Frischman, who was a connection through Wes Hamilton, who is an author and a speaker and just an incredible light. She was a lot of fun to be a presenter with. We had Janet Adkins, who's out of the Knoxville group, who does incredibly energy infused jewelry, and she's just a beautiful person and artist. Thank you, Carol Montgomery, for that connection. We had Olivia Snoddy, who is a nutritionist and health coach and a dear friend, who delivered just a tremendous presentation on the importance of food and meal prep. We had Donna Kuntz. Thank you to Cindy Tysinger for that connection. Donna is an incredible light, a very gifted speaker and communicator, and she has blessed us a number of times on the Coffee House. We had Kelly Wagner, who is the owner of Edge Magazine in Minneapolis, and Kelly is just such a hard worker, and she's really doing a lot with that magazine to bring a lot of joy to people, and she's amazing, and she's also a dear friend. We also have Beth Herndobler, who is a recent connection. Thank you, Pat Hambury. She is an incredible practitioner, and yeah, she was a lot of fun. She has a big personality. We had Eddie Arpin and Alex Haley, the founders of Offering Tree, just two incredible men, again, out of Minneapolis, who have really dedicated their platform to providing what they call middle class for practitioners and people in the field of alternative health. They are tremendous. And of course, I have to give a shout out to Mary Harris, who blessed us many times with her song and her personality. And I have to give a big shout out to Carol Montgomery, who gave a brilliant presentation, and she's also just one of my dearest friends on the planet, and she really has given me such an opportunity to connect with extraordinary people, and she does it so humbly. And thank you so much, Carol. And I have just been so blessed to not just get to know all of these people on a professional level, but to really gain an incredible group of friends. And that means a lot, especially last year. And Carol, Patty, thank you for your friendship and everything you do. And I definitely wasn't expecting to do that, but you've all touched me in such an extraordinary way. And I promise you that I'm going to work really hard to just shine a light on all of you, because that's what I know I'm here to do. So thank you all for listening and for showing up and connecting, creating, and collaborating. It's just a beginning, I promise. All right, that's all for me.
Yeah, so I'm expected to follow that. Thanks, Brian. Yes. So I'm not going to say too much. One of the things that I learned and valued so much during the 18 months of the coffee house is to listen more, and to remember that I started out on my journey as a complete neophyte. I didn't know anything about anything. I didn't even know an alternative world existed when I first got sick and I started looking for help. So it's been an incredible affirmation of the many spokes on the wheel of life, the many spokes on the wheel of healing. And the hub of that wheel is us. The hub of that wheel is life. The hub of that wheel is connection. One of my teachers used to say, the greatest of all human needs is the need to feel connected. Connected to something true, connected to something vital, connected to something real. And in a world of virtual everything, we've all learned how to connect with what's real. So I'm really glad that Brian mentioned all the names of all the people who shared in the coffee house. I was struggling this morning thinking there's no way I could acknowledge everybody. So thank you for doing that, Brian. And I want to give a particular acknowledgement to Brian. This coffee house really wouldn't have happened without Brian, and without Brian reaching out constantly to new people, to prepare every single coffee house. And when I woke up this morning, I was trying to think of what I wanted to say, particularly about Brian. And what came to me was a scene from the movie Dances with Wolves. And there's this absolutely beautiful scene where the character played by Kevin Costner is an American soldier called Lieutenant John Dunbar. And he was becoming a member of a local tribe, Lakota Sioux tribe. And he became very close friends with a man named Kicking Bird. I think the actor's name was Graham Greene, but I'm not sure about that. Anyway, they're sitting beneath a tree and they're talking with each other. And Kicking Bird says to Lieutenant John Dunbar the following two sentences. He says, "I was just thinking that of all the trails in this life, there are some that matter most. It is the trail of a true human being. I think you are on this trail, and it is good to see. And that's what I know that's true for Brian. I see it every day. And to know where he came from, the struggles that he had in his 20s, and to emerge in this path that he's created is good to see. Very heartwarming. So I just wanted to acknowledge all of you, because this is what I have gotten through all of our sessions together, all the coffee houses. I see that you're all on the trail of a true human being. And it's an honor to share the journey. So thank you all. Thanks very much. And now I think we'll go back to Brian.
Thank you, Russell. Beautiful words. I just want to take a quick moment to kind of share just a quick testimony, I guess, for what's possible when you start having an open mind and a heart. I'll share two quick things. One, through my connection and friendship with Carol Montgomery, I've met a lot of people, but one in particular is Cindy Tysinger. And to give you an idea of what becomes possible through finding meaningful connections, Cindy has become one of my dearest friends. We've also become business partners, and we are creating meaningful things for people who are looking to do good in the world. And that's what becomes possible when you have an open heart and mind and you start listening to yourself, having a relationship with yourself. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. And I also really want to acknowledge, again, Catherine Taylor, who has introduced me to so many people. And she did that, I'm sure that took courage and a whole heck of a lot of trust. When you build friendships with people, they matter, and it really does matter who you introduce to people, because you are on the line with that connection. And I just want to say that for anyone out there, just look at the trust that Carol and Catherine put in me, and look what has become from it. And I just want to say that it really matters who you surround yourself with, but don't play it small. When you feel that connection and that love and that trust, be open to playing a big game with it. I just wanted to say that quickly. So I will end just my own portion here with just saying that just be bold in your connections, trust in your creation, and love in your collaboration. And I believe if we all step into that, we'll continue to do great work that will make a difference in the world and be a force for good. So that's everything for me. I'll be happy to open it up for any questions or comments. And there is one last thing that I'll do before we finish up. But if anyone wants to say anything, please just start waving. Catherine, you're still on mute.
He said, I don't know if I can say this without tearing up, but I look back on the 18 months and the continuity that this group, I think, has given all of us is just amazing. But for me personally, I would have to look back on this 18 months and I'd have to say it was the best of times and the worst of times. And it was this group that I could always park at. And you allowed me to share some such intimate moments that happened not only in my life, but when the George Floyd event occurred, it was a place where I could really talk about that from the ground zero of that place. And what the three of you, Russell, Megan, and Brian, have held as a family has, I think, created this mandala that has gone so much further than just the Sunday morning and the gathering. Even that word, you've gathered so many energies and you've made so many ripples that I think really contributed not only to each of us individually, but to humanity. You gave us a way to connect and to contribute and to feel like we mattered. A place for us to remain vital. And whatever evolves in the fall, you know, I said this, Brian, from the beginning, that wherever you go, I go. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Anyone else with a comment or anything to share? Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, everyone started waving at the same time. Pat, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I'll jump up and down. I wouldn't miss this gathering unless, I don't know, some disaster happened, because I just love the energy here and I love all the different modalities and all the different people that come, and I learned so much, and it just fills my heart, and gonna make me cry too. The Mariani family is just so special to me. What, 90s, since the 90s. So I just want to thank you all so much. And I'm so pleased that you are having this and you're continuing it. And as I said, another form, so we can all benefit and learn and grow and expand our hearts and minds and souls. So yes, our lives past are our own, but it sure is nice to share a parallel path with so many wonderful people. So thank you all. And I just absolutely love this connection and this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pat. That was beautifully, beautifully said. Thank you so much. I did see Cindy. I saw you waving. Go for it.
Okay, thank you. I want to just express my deepest gratitude to our dear friend, mutual Carol Montgomery, for connecting me with Mariani's, and just the amazing family that you are. I'm just so inspired by, you know, just who you are and the incredible son that you've created, that I'm now gifted to partner and work in business with. And I feel just honored and humbled with the love that you all have shared with me and for me in the short few months that we've known each other. But I know together, everyone on this call and all the ones that I've been able to join, if you didn't see me, it meant I had my grandbabies. Brian always knew that. So one and a 3-year-old that I couldn't hop on the call in the morning. But I've enjoyed every presentation. I've enjoyed the poetry, everything that you guys have just displayed from pure love and heart. And I just want to thank you. And I look forward to our future. All of it is going to be bright. The energy is rising. That we together are going to make our world better. So thank you. I look forward to the future.
Thank you, Cindy. Absolutely beautifully said. Beautiful. I think there was someone else, but you might have to remind me if you were waving. Oh, sure. Carol Patty, absolutely.
I just can't, I don't know if I can express myself because I feel so moved. I just love you guys so much. It's been such a blessing, what you've created. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this possible for all of us and for bringing all the wonderful presenters. Every one of them was just fabulous and taught me a great deal. And I just want to thank you for being a force in the world. that's helping to raise the consciousness of this planet, which is so sorely needed at this time. So thank you, thank you. Love you very much, all of you.
Thank you, Carol Patty. Beautifully said. Thank you so much. Anyone else with a comment before we wrap up? Okay, well, we are going to wrap up with a gift from the universe that has been delivered by our very own Catherine Taylor. And I'm just going to read this for everybody. So it says, a note from the universe to Russell, Megan, and Brian. Sometime today, a package will arrive. It is given to you, the Water Cure family, as a gesture of gratitude on behalf of every person who has enriched and comforted almost every Sunday since April 12th, 2020. Your consistent dedication to hosting the Coffee House gathering provided inspiration, hope, education, and a safe, heartfelt connection for each person that attended during a time when a sense of belonging was so desperately needed. The intent of this gift, a Mayu water swirl device, is to give each of you a daily confirmation that your efforts made a difference. They kept us swirling in the right direction and hydrated us, mind, body, heart, and soul. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Here's to connection, creation, and collaboration. I love you all, your dear friends, and let's go touch someone's heart, make someone smile. That's what this is all about. And I thank you all dearly. Let's do it again soon.